right now on Namibia's number one, on The Breakfast Lab. You might know him from talk shows, you might know him from game shows, you've probably seen him in movies, you have most definitely seen him as that hilarious bartender in those Savannah adverts. What you might not know is he is the man who coined the phrase, "Ons gaan nou braai." But you will absolutely first and foremost know him from his 40 plus years as the second most funniest thing to come out of South Africa. Please welcome to The Breakfast Lab, the cousin, comedy legend, Mr. Barry Hilton. Barry, how are you doing this morning?
I am fabulous.
My man, we are so excited to have you here on The Breakfast Lab with us. Barry, I just want to quickly put this out there. I meant no offense when I say you are the second funniest thing to come out of South Africa. You are hilarious, but there's just sometimes if we're having a bad day, we can't help but remember this as possibly the best thing to come out of South Africa.
769, 800 and 700.
Zuma. Barry, thank you again so much for joining us this morning. You are this Friday and Saturday in Swakopmund at the Soundgarden. Beautiful venue. Tickets are available right now on web tickets. Barry, when last were you in Namibia?
Oh, about 4 or 5 years ago.
Sure.
Pre-COVID.
Barry, if people come to your shows, pack a spare underpant because you are not going to be held accountable for what happens with the first. People know they're going to laugh. They know they're going to cry. But one of your comedy styles has been described as observational. I'm not a comedian, Barry, but I've observed that a lot is happening in the world. So without giving away too much, what are some of the themes or topics surrounding your show?
My shows are all basically ad-lib. When I get on stage, I don't know what I'm going to talk about until I get on stage, but then I talk about stuff that interests me at the time.
Barry, we're living in a world, unfortunately, of cancel culture, and I feel like you comedians, you've got targets on your backs. It's gotten to the point where never mind saying the wrong thing or an offensive thing on stage. I feel like you say anything, someone is going to be on the internet going, yo, that Barry Hilton, he said this thing. Has anyone come after you because of something you've said during a show?
Once or twice, people have said, I didn't like what you said there.
Yeah.
And I would say something that I don't like the way you dress, but that's your choice.
Barry, like I said yesterday, this interview was a tough one to prep for me because I got so sidetracked. I went down the rabbit hole of your shows, and something about your comedy, I love it. I think it's great. And at no point did I think to myself, with the cancel culture world we live in now, that you did something wrong. But it almost feels like you don't go out of your way to hurt. You don't go out of your way to offend.
It's not my style. I just talk about life, and I talk about things that are real, that are happening.
So would you say then there are absolutely topics that are off limits to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's too many funny things in life, Maybe I talk about my mother-in-law.
Now there's something not off limits. Barry, if you don't mind me kind of assuming, you're from this old school club of comedians. The way things were done in the day is you pick up the phone, you call the clubs, you call the bars, you book the dates, and then you get out there on the road and you do the work. Those first shows you're going to be playing to the bartender and 2 random people, and then you start building and you build, and then the crowds get bigger, the crowds get better, and eventually those clubs start calling you. Barry, you've worked, you've built the name, but old school tactics aside, you're also very present and aware of the modern name building platforms, things like TikTok. How important would you rate these kinds of social media platforms for getting a name out there these days?
Well, I've been using TikTok since I was about 13. It's called a watch.
There we go. See, this is why book your tickets now. Go now, get your tickets.
TikTok. I do a lot of stuff on it. I do Facebook a lot and things like that. I found when I started doing TikTok, I became addicted to it. I would make a post and then I'd look at it 10 times a day to see if I got any responses. So I thought, no, hold on. That's taking me down the wrong hole. So I'd rather just talk on the present.
With the TikTok thing, it's not going to give you a thick skin, though, because I feel like so many of the comedians out there posting the videos, they can polish and edit and make it perfect. How important is it still to get out there on the road and, let's be honest, just bomb in front of people? Because that's surely lessons within itself.
Absolutely. You'll never find an artist that will truly say to you they've never died on stage. But when you die on stage, there's tricks you learn to get out, Number one trick is, I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you watch the comedian that's bombing, they speed up their act. They just try and finish the act, like to get out of it. And it's the wrong way to do it. I've learned that from experience and from the pain of doing it. You have to slow down and start again.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of young comics if they tell a joke and it doesn't go, they actually insult the audience by doing that little thing over their head. Oh, okay, this is over your head. You're not sharp, which is stupid. That to your audience.
You're talking about being on the stage now. Take us to right about you're walking on stage in 10 minutes. Do you have rituals? Do you have superstitions? Are there things that Barry Hilton needs to do before you walk out on stage?
Yes. I feel like I need to vomit. I get a feeling in the pit of my stomach that I'm going to throw up.
Does it make for a better show? Like if maybe the feeling
because when I
doesn't
get
happen.
outside, I'm still nervous. I've done over 7,000 shows, but I'm still nervous. I'm thinking, is this the one that I'm going to die on my ass? Is this the one?
Yeah.
So...
It seems like with a lot of the Namibians, we're not sure where this comes from. When you do your videos on the socials, when you are talking to people, you start with, hello, my cousins. Where does this start? Who are the cousins? Why cousins?
When I was a youngster, and up to today, I can't remember people's names. I don't even know what your name is. I've forgotten it. So that's what would happen to me. And it's not because I'm not interested in you. It's just I'm not very good at names.
Yeah.
So I've always been able to pick up friends quickly. And then somebody would say to me, who's this guy? And it would be easier for me to say, he's my cousin. And that's how it started when I was about 10 years old. So I would, even in school when I was in the UK for a while, and when I went to school in Cape Town, it was just my cousin. That's what it just was. But now it's become synonymous with me. People say, hey, my cousin. A lot of people might not even know my name.
Barry, this past year, I almost want to say these past few years, amper sê ek bliksem, it's been rough. People need this escape from work. People need the escape from bills. People need the escape from the fact that I'm pretty certain my boss knows it was me that keyed his car. One of those escapes for me personally, I can't speak for everyone, but me personally is having a laugh. There's something cathartic about comedy. Humor can help you deal with the bad in the world. But Barry, I'm the consumer. What about you as the comedian? What's your view on comedy's role regarding maybe poor mental health and dealing with all these hardships in life?
It is essential. Yeah. Essential. I do a talk about mental health, funny enough. And one of the things I talk about is how you handle adversity. Yeah. For instance, my brother died of cancer. So he phoned me up to tell me, and I didn't know he had cancer. So he said to me, listen, I've got cancer. Yeah. Now, when somebody says to you, I've got cancer, for that split second, you become an oncologist. And you go like, really? Yeah. Where did you get it? Like as if you can actually do anything about it.
Yeah.
Anything. So you say, where did you get it? Meaning your leg, your brain, your egg, your whatever, football or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So my brother phoned me up one day. He says, I've got something to tell you. I said, what's that? He said, I've got cancer. I said, oh my God. Where did you get it? And he said to me, Cape Town.
Barry, I will feel terrible if I was to start laughing now, but it's brilliant.
That's what happened. And until my brother died, that's how he treated his cancer. He joked about it every day. His last words to me was, this is going to come out good in the end, Baz. I said, what's it going to come out good for you in the end? He said to me, no, you've got to pay the bill.
I mean...
Yeah, I miss him every single day. But when I think about my butt, I don't think about the I think about the funnies that he did.
That's beautiful. There's a big thing that I think a lot of people only learned recently about you. And let me start this off by saying, I grew up on a farm in the south of Namibia. My dad, he's like the only English boer for like 100 kilometers. So take it from me, your comedy bit of ons gaan nou braai. Truer words, sir, have never been spoken. I've been to braais. The fire's lit at like 4 in the afternoon, but it's 11 o'clock at night already. Kids are crying. They're convulsing. Mama is die moeder met papa because there's no food. Did you ever think something as innocent as that little phrase would have the impact that it would have?
No, I didn't. But it actually started off after a show. A guy said to me, Barry, môre gaan ons braai. Wil jy môre braai? Ons gaan nou braai. And he carried on. And I said, thank you, but I like to eat before 11. It was just like an instant thing. I said, his wife started laughing, and I said, what's the matter? She said, that's what happens in our house. I said, and in mine, and in yours, and in everybody's house.
Yeah.
So then I got on stage the next day, and I wrote a story about ons gaan nou braai. It's very synonymous. Although, I think I've had 3 people write me very nasty letters about it and saying to me, if they ever catch me, they're going to bliksem me because I'm mocking the the Afrikaans culture, and I said, oh, please go away, you know.
It's not just the Afrikaanse boere, it's the English boere where it's also happening. So people calm down and chill. Barry, you actually have merchandise. Is it mycousin.co.za where people can get like the legit stuff from you?
You're flippant. Let me tell you something, young man.
Yes.
You have done your research. Because usually people say to me, oh, Barry, so when did it start? You know, so well done. I applaud you for your hard work. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
I do have merchandise. mycousin.co.za, get it online. It's easier for you to sell it online because, you know, people say, why didn't you bring your merch with you? And I say, what merch must I bring? 100 T-shirts? Imagine how much it's going to cost me on a plane.
Yeah.
If people buy after my show, I put a little code there and say, you went to my show, put this code in, and then you will get 20% off or something like that. So buy it.
That's awesome. You've cornered the boere braai market. But I thought,
Yes.
okay, what other scenarios could we put boere in to grow Barry's merch? So I thought of other boertjie type scenarios we could market, and I've adapted them to the phrase, ons gaan nou braai. I ran these ideas past our marketing team. They said absolutely under no circumstances should I pitch them to anyone, let alone to you. So here goes. I will give you a scenario with my adapted catchphrase, and we see if we can put them on your merch store, and it's all now for the boere crowd. So Barry, for the boertjies that need to load their bakkies for Scarpa, what about ons gaan nou lie? Then I thought for the boertjies,
Right.
if you got to plant a millie, what about ons gaan nou saai?
You would back that up. You'd back that up with an image. You'd see a bakkie full of sheep.
Yeah.
You'd see a in a field. Very good.
A millie's drunk. Barry, for the boertjies, maybe you were ooging their girl and now they want to moer you and they start swinging their fists. Ons gaan nou swaai.
Very good.
Okay,
Well done.
I got two left. I don't know if these are the best ones, but this one is for the boertjies that want to sing their favorite Kurt Darren tune. Ons gaan nou lawaai.
That's the one.
The last one, though, this is the one I was told absolutely do not run this by the man. He's going to put the phone down. But I thought about this long and hard. For the boertjies that are deeply in love with their girlfriends and have now decided it's time to take their relationship to maybe a more intimate and physical level, what about ons gaan nou navorsing doen hoe ons nie per ongeluk 'n kindjie maak nie, want in hierdie ekonomie kan ons nie 'n kind bekostig nie.
Yeah, it's a little bit long for the show, but if you said the word that you were going to say is, I would say to you, how is your sister?
Barry, I mean, there's reason enough for people to rather go and check you out versus anything
Yes,
I
comes
will
to
say.
Soundgarden, it's absolute joy. The people are great.
Before I let you go, this Friday, this Saturday, tickets are available on web tickets. This man is an absolute legend. Go and watch him out. We got a WhatsApp sent to us here. Says, this was sent to us by Andrew, who says, Barry was on a plane with my mom many years ago and made her almost blush to death. Barry, what are you doing with people's moms on planes?
I have no idea. Probably talking to things come to mind when I talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, it happens.
Even just in this interview, Barry, you are a master of your craft. That's why when I ask you what are some of the subjects, it's a difficult question I can imagine to answer because you are so on the fly. You are so good at what you do.
You should be my manager. Just a day. You're very good. So, what did you say you were going to say, Go?
I was just wanted to say, people, I'm urging them now, go check the tickets out. It's on web tickets Friday and Saturday. Some are booked for both days. And Barry, a lot of people worried about they might miss the rugby. Soundgarden's going to be playing the rugby, so if the Bokke win, your evening's going to get even better with Barry afterwards. If the Bokke lose, just know Barry's loaded with jokes.
Why do they call it a try when they've just done it?
Don't ask these questions, Barry. Beautiful, beautiful. Barry, thank you so much for having a chat to us here on the Breakfast Lab.
Thank you.
We love you.
And well done, guys, for actually giving me a great interview questions for a change. Well done.
So we appreciate you, Barry. We love you. To all our friends in Swakop now. If you're not in Swakop, make the commute. We must say Namibia is so small. You can just quickly jot on over there for the weekend, Friday and Saturday at the Soundgarden in Swakopmund. Tickets available on web tickets to go and watch this legend do what he does best. Mr. Barry Hilton, the cousin, thank you once again for joining us this morning.